Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome here at Crypto Hash Review, where we educate and disseminate information about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies from a Muslim perspective. And this feature isn't a feature required as a part of money, but it is definitely a feature which is part of money in terms of Bitcoin. And is a beneficial feature which is useful, will be very useful in money. But like I said, it's not a required feature. I mean, I don't think any of these features necessarily on their own has to exist in order for people to transact. But we have to talk about this to introduce what is coming as in the future, and that is the attribute of open programmability. Now, money, we've never ever seen a time in history where you could program money to do something. Money has always been this inert thing that exists, and we do something to it. So I could give rules and regulations as it relates to how this should be given or taken or whatnot. These are systems we put in place as human beings. We have our own little programs. You can almost say we program society to do this, that, and the other. But we've never had a system or a situation whereby the money itself, regardless of the society, could be programmed. You can actually set a program, make it programmable. So let me give you an example. With gold, if I had a bar of gold and put it on my table here, I could never ever make it a case whereby after the next 5 minutes transfer this to that person, or within the next, if this person does X, Y, and Z, then transfer this to their account, or if this person brings forward this information, then transfer it to their account. The gold just sits there, does nothing. When I say does nothing, I mean obviously, but it literally just sits there, and it only moves if something else moves it. Whereas with Bitcoin, however, and some cryptocurrencies, and other cryptocurrencies, you can actually program money to do something. So for example, we can have miniature scripts or different things that can be used in Bitcoin to program it, like what's called a multi-script wallet. So what that means is I can actually have my own private keys. Someone else could have their own private key. Maybe two or three people, other people have their own private keys. And we could combine these private keys to make another wallet called a multi-signature wallet. And what that means is that only if we could say 2 or 3 people sign the transaction that we sent. If one person signs it, it's not sent. I need at least 2. Or we could do what's called time locks, whereby money is sent in a certain direction if a certain time expires. And there's so many things that can be used, like that can be built on top of the Bitcoin network, like the Lightning Network is another one that could be used to build on top of the Bitcoin network. And I'll give you one scenario, one situation which was interesting, which was mentioned by Andreas Antonopoulos about the future of money. And he mentioned that one of the features of money in the past, because of its innate nature, is that it needed someone to own it and someone to do something to it. Whereas we now have money which is programmable. It's a program. Anyone can use it, or anything could even use it. Even a machine could have Bitcoin and send and receive. I could load up a hot wallet onto a server and program that when money comes in, after a certain amount of time, it goes to somewhere else. Even a car, for example, is a bit of the future coming forward. I'm going to give you a glimpse of the future. Like a car, could you imagine a car being totally self-autonomous? No one owns it. It earns money and it spends money all on its own. How does that make sense? How could that possibly happen? If someone makes a car, therefore someone owns the car. How could you ever have a society where a car is not owned by anyone and it just does its thing? Here's how it could happen. You have a car that's owned by somebody, and it was a Tesla. Say it was a Tesla. And Tesla's already mentioned that they want to produce something called the Tesla fleet, whereby when you're not driving your car with auto drive could go out and take people taxiing and receive fees. So that being the case, what you could do then is that you can send your car out at the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day, the car comes back to home and it's earned some money. Great. So the money goes into the car wallet, During the day, the car needs to charge its battery, it goes to the charging station, it gives some money over to the charging station, and it gets charged. It does what it needs to do because it is autonomous to some degree. You program it to do what it needs to do. But ultimately, you own the car, but then you die. Maybe you died and you left no inheritors, and no one even noticed that you even own the car. So this car is continuing in society, taking cabs, people here and there and everywhere, charging itself, changing its tires. It does what it needs to do because it's programmed to do that, but nobody owns it. And money is being transacted, given and taken by a machine, all autonomously without any ownership. This is an example of programmable money. We're already seeing now robots dancing now and doing backflips and jumping, all that kind of stuff. We're seeing cars driving on their own, being more safe on the road than human beings. It's only a matter of time, really, whereby machines will be able to do what they need to do, pay for their own repairs, get paid for services rendered, which is a future which I think is a lot more closer than you think. So the ability for money to be programmable outside of a controlled system is something which is unique to cryptocurrencies and is the coming future. And obviously Bitcoin gets a 5 out of 5 for that one, and all other currencies get a 1 out of 5. Now one could say, yeah, but those other cryptocurrencies, those other types of money, gold and stuff, they could be put on the blockchain and then programmable. Yeah, I guess it could. But again, that would be the blockchain representing something else doing the programming. The thing itself is not programmable. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this video, find it useful. If you like the video, give it a like button, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to contact us, you can find us on our website, cryptohashreview.com. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.